practice 12, how have the guys held up to the grind of it all, Coach?
You know, you found a way to ask the same questions 8 times.
Somebody's got to ask the first one. I think that's how it is.
Oh, yeah, the same lead-off question.
Hey, talk about practice.
Yeah, what'd you see? Yeah.
The grind of it all.
No, it's all right. We're at 12. You know, we talked about, you know, we got 13, 14, and you have basically 29 practice opportunities, you know, and some guys use them all as teams. Some coaches don't. We've been using about 28 of those over the course of the last 3 years. But, you know, tomorrow's really the halfway point, looking at it that way. And what makes it tough is a halfway point and a two-a-day practice. And so that's a lot. It's mostly mental in the grind. And you see other coaches and around the country talking about it right now for everybody. You know, it's like we talked about today. You start feeling sorry for yourself. There's 124 other teams that are doing the same thing. If they're not, then they're not going to win. But the people that are winning are investing in football, and they're taxed, and everybody's sore, and that's part of playing big boy football. You got to push yourself through it, and that's kind of where we are.
How is your defensive line shaping up, and maybe in particular DeMontre Moore?
You know, he's coming along. He's a guy that's made big plays. I think the problem with him has been it's kind of a feast or famine deal. You know, that he's made big plays, but he showed the ability to hurt the football team too with contain issues, jumping off sides. You know, hadn't been able to stay. Look out there, and he's flopping around on the ground. You know, so he's a guy that we've got to corral. He's got to understand his role and you know, become a every down player that's consistent and not just a great play and then we don't see you and then maybe a penalty. And we've expressed that to him. I'm not talking out of school or anything like that. He knows where we feel, and he's a very, very talented guy that needs to understand that you know, we need him to be productive for us, and he needs to be solid in the other parts of the game. He doesn't need to be counterproductive. So if we can get him to that consistently, I think he's shown the ability, like he did Saturday, you know, with coming off the edge and being able to do some things. He made plenty of plays for us.
In the line overall?
You know, I've been the addition of Mathis, you know, we got Ennis back. That gives you Hatton, who's 300 pounds, and Neely in there. You know, so we got 4 guys going. We moved Polo in there, you know, he's 270 right now as a freshman. Lonzo's been in there a little bit. He's 270, you know, but we've got those 4 guys inside there, and while those freshmen are starting to feel their way, you know, outside you're looking at Stansberry and Obi Oha at one end, and you know, they've done a nice job. Obi Oha's been really, really good for us, and is really pushing Stansberry, and you know, basically has really made Stansberry a better player. You know, competition's a coach's best friend. And then on the other side, you know, DeMontre has you know, is really playing well, but you know, the young Taylor has come in. You know, anybody who's seen his body, everybody looked at him when he was recruited. I think it said he was what, 210. You look at him, he doesn't look like he's not 210 now. You know, he's getting closer to 240, and has really shown a motor and ability to flash. So, you know, those young guys have come in and done a nice job from an effort standpoint, really pushed our veterans and give us a change of pace outside. So, you know, we've basically got a whole new D-line than we had in the spring, which Coach Price is happy about. But Coach Price is not getting a whole bunch of sleep, you know. So, you know, his hair is falling out and his eyes are red because he's working like crazy trying to get the proper match, the proper rotation. And I think out of that group, you know, we're not where we need to be, but I think out of that group, we feel a lot better than we did leaving spring football when you can rotate that group in there and be able to play in the league we're getting ready to play in.
You mentioned last week that you kind of seen Sean Porter get a little more vocal. Are you getting from him and Jonathan what you want in terms of that type of deal with him?
Yeah, I think so. In particular, Sean. Mm-hmm. I think Sean is a guy who has you know, understands the defense a little bit more, understands the whole package, has a better feel for Coach Snyder, has a better feel for Coach Wallerstedt, and now, it's like anything else. You talk about freshmen. There's really two phases. There's the what to do stage that every freshman goes through, just figuring out what to do, translating or transferring the playbook to the field. And then there's the how to do stage, which comes down the road. Instead of just running to where the line is in the playbook, now there's an adjustment. Now what do I do? How to do it? And for every player, there's that adjustment with a new scheme. And Sean has gone beyond that. We've got to get, and we're at the point where we got more and more guys doing that across the board, but Sean understood it quicker, and I think he's been able to become a leader quicker because of, he just understands things and is able to communicate with our coaches, and we're going to need his leadership to get through camp, not only get through camp, but through this season. He's doing everything we ask him to do.
What are you seeing out of Campbell?
He's been good. We've got to keep an eye on him, from that foot. Anytime it looks like he's going to limp, I'd probably pull him out. I'm a little bit protective of him. That injury is, once you put that screw in there, that can go at any time. So we're very, very cognizant of it. But, when you're practicing safeties back there, you're not practicing one safety. You need to have two guys back there that are communicating with the defense. So, he's got to get reps. He's got to be able to talk. So we've kind of been playing that by ear, getting him reps. But when he goes, he goes hard. And I've been really, really pleased with he and Stephen Terrell back there. So, those guys have been good. DeShazer's been bouncing back and forth, as you guys have seen, between corner and safety. So, Devontae's given us a little flexibility with Floyd Raven and Otis Jacobs. So, as I said, it seems like an easy deal, but we need to get the right pieces. We've got some pieces. We don't have a lot, but we've got some pieces, and it's up to us as coaches to get them in the right spot.
You mentioned,
I had an opportunity now to see Ward, Richardson, and Richmond for a few days. How are, obviously you didn't see them in the spring, how are they looking now with a few practices under their belt?
They're okay. They got a ways to go. The linebacker's a very difficult position to play. Shoot the way defense, the way it is right now, you've got to be, and for what we do and as multiple as we are, you got to be able to cover guys, and you're a young guy. That ball's getting snapped. You got to be able to play the run and pass, and mentally, it's pretty difficult. Physically for the front, it's different coming in as a freshman. Mentally for a linebacker, it's hard drops, different coverages, different fits, A gap, B gap, C gap, depending on where the back is, and then it's probably as difficult a position as there is to play, and so those guys are, we've still got time. As I said, we've got some days. We got, tomorrow, and then we're going to have another scrimmage Saturday, which we'll open up again. It won't be nearly as long Saturday, but we'll get back in the stadium, and I think those guys need to play a little bit more.